Good afternoon and thanks for joining us right here on Midday Kentucky. David Goldman is back in the house because our darling Amber Freeman, she's on holiday somewhere.
I know, always going off, trotting
She's
around.
always trotting around somewhere. Hey, thanks for coming in. Sorry it's raining, everyone, outside.
Yeah.
Not fun.
It is raining cats and dogs, so it's perfect for
very
apothecary.
Yeah, apothecary. Is that just not a big worded name?
I love it though, because it's got, you know, like a paw, like a dog's paw. So it's super cute.
And we want to also say, we pre-recorded some segments out at Proof Fitness the other day.
Yes.
We went down there, and I love the fact the first one is Mummy Arm Madness.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I didn't know that's what it was called until today. I'm thinking, what do two guys know about Mummy Arm Madness?
Well, Emily, who does the segment, is incredible.
Yeah, she ripped it in.
And she's a mom. She's a tough mama.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I know. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Speaking of fitness, but I want to talk about this first. If you love McDonald's, now this is everywhere today, everyone. McDonald's French fries, which I do, you know I do. It is what it is. Then you are loving this news. The fast food chain is giving away French fries every Friday until the end of this year. But the salty treats come at a price. You have to download the McDonald's app and make a minimum purchase of $1 before you get your fries, everyone. Now, we believe comedian Jim Gaffigan sums up most people's feeling towards McDonald's fries. Take a listen.
Those McDonald's fries are truly amazing, right? Has your mother ever made anything as good as a McDonald's fry? Not even close. We lie to ourselves when we eat McDonald's fries. We're like, oh, they're so thin, they couldn't be fattening. You ever eat too many McDonald's fries? Of course not! There's never enough of them.
I don't mean to be rude, but I can't seem to get enough of them in my mouth at once. I don't know why. It's just...
I love him. He does such a good job because...
We're back onto the fries, David.
Yes, I know.
Not the comedian.
But he has, in this segment, he's like, you know, when you find that one last fry in the bag that you forgot about and you thought you missed it, and you're like... Thank you, God. One more.
No. This is the sin of
Bonus
all
fry.
McDonald's fry eaters. You're in the car, you're driving, you eat the fries.
Yes.
Then you know you've dropped a couple down the side of the chair. Then you get to the bottom of the packet, there's none left. What do? You wait till the next traffic light and you're hoofing in, trying to get...
digging around.
Come on, let's be honest, people.
I'm putting ketchup in my mouth on this side, fries in my mouth.
You put the ketchup in?
Yeah.
I've never thought of that.
It's a little less messy, but here's the thing. McDonald's, I don't know what you're doing to America right now because we're all fry fanatics.
Yeah,
That's real.
Well, no, you know I'm not now because I did my
better not.
60-hour detox.
Not allowed.
And now I'm having the ultra slim because of those huge results that you got.
Yes.
And I'm doing that whole keto thing, people. I'm learning how to do that. I'm not
teaching them
surviving it yet, but I'm trying to get my best on it. Okay, tell us what you think about your dollar fries.
Yes.
Hey, Tinder is a place where some people go to find love. I don't know about that. One nurse decided to give it a try, but now potential dates are nervous about going out with her. Some of them even say they were scared the first date would end with an X-ray or an ice bath. You're probably wondering why. Because of her very specific must-haves. Besides the important things like humility and trustworthiness, her date, listen to this, must have both lungs and kidneys, have a heart with a sinus rhythm. He must also not smoke or take any substance that could damage his liver. But don't worry, he is also allowed to be the occasional drinker. Now, when you're a drinker, does that not affect the liver?
It totally does, yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. She's a nutcase. Who'd want to go on a date with her anyway? If you read that profile, why would you do it, David?
It's a little intense. You know, it's like, I feel like Tinder is more of a, it's a little maybe...
It's a hookup place.
I was going to say a little social hookup. Real. And when someone thinks...
It's not Christians.com.
You need to have both lungs. I mean, that's a little... Come on, calm down.
There are so many puns that I can use on this story, but I'm shutting my mouth.
Keeping it clean.
Keeping it clean. Tell us what you think. Would you go on a date with her or not? Get over to Midday Kentucky's Facebook page. This is a more... well, of a serious question.
Kind of runs with it.
It sort of does run with it. Are young adults drinking themselves to death? Now, a research team from the University of Michigan Medicine discovered an increase 65% across the US since 1999. Now, Cirrhosis,
Cirrhosis, yeah.
Yeah, cirrhosis. Thank you. I said
But
psoriasis. Sorry.
just
is
like you
when
said.
liver damage, cirrhosis of the liver, which everyone knows my mother had, liver damage leads to scarring or liver failure. Now they found the biggest increase was people between the ages of 25 and 34. Their number rose 10% each year. Now the group is asking lawmakers to take action to stop this pattern, and one suggested they made was raising the minimum price of alcohol. Okay, I feel pretty strongly about this because you know my mother was an alcoholic. I actually think there is an issue with having adults or kids starting the drinking age at 21.
Right.
You know, in Europe and Australia it's 18.
And do you feel like it should be younger?
I think it should be 18.
Yeah, because...
And not because I'm endorsing it.
Right.
It's because I think it will stop the effects of binge drinking.
Right. No, I think that's perfect because, first of all, if you're able to put your life on the line for our country, I think you should be able to go have a beer. You know,
Yeah.
The second part, raising the prices on alcohol, I don't think is going to deter people from doing it.
Can I tell you this?
Yep.
In Australia, the government has put up the price of packet of cigarettes. Here,
Right.
you can buy a packet of Marlboro Lights for $7, I think.
Oh, wow.
The same cigarettes in Australia, $29.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that hasn't deterred people from smoking. People would rather not feed their kid and have a cigarette.
Yeah. that's
So
sad.
increasing the price of alcohol isn't the problem.
And I think you do see it in these social concepts where people are just so ready. I think it also goes back to society being unhappy and that people are trying to escape. So they're trying to block it out.
Block
with
their
drinking.
feelings?
Yeah, I think it plays a role in it.
I do. I also know that we were, as kids, coming from a European family, we would always have a sip at the table of wine or port.
Right.
And I remember that even, you know, maybe 9, 10, 11, they never gave us a glass of something,
Right.
but we could have a sip.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
It wasn't such a big deal.
It never is in the European culture,
Yeah.
and it's introduced. And I have to say, I've never binge drinked, and I've never been drunk enough where I don't remember
Right.
or I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I think that's got a lot to do with it was introduced to me at a younger age.
It wasn't a big deal.
You're probably right. Tell us what you think. It's a pretty scary stats when you read that whole story. It's on Midday Kentucky's Facebook page. Now, the other day we talked about tipping in unique situations, but there's an overall study on tipping when people go out to dinner. And apparently some millennials are not doing it at all. Now, creditcard.com surveyed 1,000 people, and they discovered that 10% of millennials will not leave a tip at all, compared to just the 3% of the older generation. Now, the average tip millennials leave is 15%, while the average across the board is 18%. This wasn't so much of an issue for me. I really, you know, if you don't have enough money to tip, that's cool. I get it. I just don't think you should stop going out and socializing.
I don't know.
Here's my thing. Raise the minimum wage, people,
Right.
in these restaurants.
Right.
And get rid of tipping altogether. That's my point to this story.
I like that and I agree with you, but until that happens, listen, if you're not tipping, it's tacky. If you've never been in a service job,
I agree with you.
where you are dependent on your tipping, whether you know you're in hairdressing or if you're serving, that's typical.
But don't you, I need to ask you this. So this is where we got confused, because we were told in Australia that if you are working in a restaurant, you only survive on the tips.
Right.
You don't get a salary. But I've since found out that's not correct.
But in the States, it's more, people get paid maybe $3 or $4 an hour.
Right.
So, I mean, they might work a 12-hour shift.
They
and
need those tips, people.
the tips is how they're paying it for their food on their plate.
Well, I thought about this last night. I'm not saying, because we still get confused on who to tip.
Right.
But I was at the dentist yesterday, and I was
Don't tell
finding
me.
this
Did you
story.
tip?
No, because I did when I first moved to America. I was tipping every person that I'd run into.
Right.
And then I was told that wasn't necessary. But when I was reading this story, and I thought to myself, well, that's a service industry.
Right.
The woman that did the deep clean on my teeth didn't own the business. Should I have tipped her? Is that the right thing to have done?
That's a really good point. And I mean, in the med spa, we have people tip our nurse practitioner.
I tip Alison when she does my
right?
facial.
Our estheticians get tipped all the time.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. It's that service industry. And, you know, people are working. you know, just like if you get a massage,
Yeah.
you're going to tip them.
Yeah.
So I definitely think tipping is very important and
I
appreciated.
think it should be. Look, tell me whether you're wrong. I know when we go to our barber, it's automatically included. If I'm, it sort of starts at 20%, doesn't it?
It's now I think they've gotten very savvy with it, where it's like it's suggested, right?
Oh,
So
I
it-
think
it
you
just
should.
puts in
It should
front
be
of you.
guaranteed 18 or 15% on every bill.
Right.
And if you want to tip a little bit more, you tip a little bit more.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, wonderful. If you can't, at least you know you've given the server 15%.
Right. I think that is-
Whether you're a millennial or not.
It's important, people.
Tell us what you think. Head over to Midday Kentucky's Facebook page, everyone. Okay, what is your earliest memory, David, of when you, like your most earliest in life? Researchers say if it took place before your second birthday, it's probably a lie. In fact, you could be creating those memories on your own through pictures and stories. About 6,600 people were part of the largest study ever on early memory. Now, when asked for their earliest memory that was not linked with stories or pictures, the average answer of 60% of those surveyed was about 3.5 years old. David, what was your earliest?
Mine involved my grandmother when I was 4 years old for my birthday. She got me Ninja Turtle underwear, and I wanted to wear it. She said I couldn't put it on right then, but I could put it on my head
Right.
and run around, have fun. Earliest memory.
Okay. You asked me what mine was.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, but I'll keep it clean. It was my first day of, I call it kindergarten.
Yeah,
We call it
kindergarten.
kindergarten here. And I remember this poor little kid. He was sitting in the corner, and I ended up going through to school through all the years with him, and he'd, you know, soiled himself because he was crying, and I remember that, and I don't understand why I remember it, but I just remember it, and it's always been in my mind.
Because it
And
traumatized you.
well, when I see him on Facebook now, I still think of that day. Isn't it awful?
It's real, though. Those moments in time are always the
I don't
best.
remember entering the school. I don't remember walking to that corner where he was, but I can see him still there to this day. Grey shorts, black shoes, blue shirt, and that poor kid crying, and it was too much. It was too much. I want to know what your earliest memory was.
I bet we can get some really good ones
Yeah.
on Facebook. So
It's all up
let
there.
us know.
Go on, have a look, and tell us what you